It feels nice to be reminded of how meaningless the things that we often worry about actually are. In fact, it feels nice to be reminded how everything that we worry about is actually meaningless. And I'm out here at a cemetery right now. And I wasn't planning on going to a cemetery this morning. I was going to go to a garden, but the garden was closed and I wanted to be in nature, and so here I am at this cemetery, and wherever you go, that's where you are, so that's where I'm at right now. But this isn't where I was reminded of how meaningless most of the things that I worry about actually are. How everything that I worry about is meaningless. But I saw it when I was taking a run yesterday. And I had just finished running after about 30 minutes. And I was walking along the river. And out of nowhere, there was a stinging pain in my heart. And it felt like it was coming in from multiple directions, like I was getting stabbed in my heart. And it wasn't incredibly painful. It was just a minor pain, but it was very acute. It was very acute. And there was a curiosity that came over me. It wasn't even so much of a fear, but a curiosity. And it was a question. And I thought, what is a heart attack? What is a heart attack? Why do we use that terminology? Is it the heart being attacked, or is the heart attacking us? Because this sort of pain that I felt in my heart on that day, it wasn't unusual. I feel this pain from time to time. And the times that I feel this pain is when I'm letting excessive burdens weigh me down. And whether I'm thinking about it consciously or subconsciously, I find myself putting pressure on my own heart, punishing myself in thoughts of seeing myself as not the person who I'm trying to become. Which is ridiculous, because I'm trying to become a specific person, but I'm not that person right now. So I punish myself, put pressure on my heart. I see the life that I'm living, and sometimes I don't particularly like my days, and sometimes I feel guilt towards my past self for putting myself in this current position. And sometimes I feel guilty because I have a gift of life and I'm incredibly grateful, but I often feel like I might be wasting this gift. And I feel guilt towards God, and I feel guilt towards the people who raised me. And all of these things are burdens, and it causes me to put pressure on my heart. And when I put this sort of pressure on my heart long enough, I start to feel pain, a sort of spiritual pain from my heart, but also this very real physical pain, an acute stinging that is my heart speaking to me. Speaking to me, and maybe you would call it lashing out, but it's saying something. And I often think of the heart. I used to think of it in terms of the heart always has to be in love. And if it's not in love, it's in hate. But I think of it now more in terms of the heart is like a fish, and your heart is in the water for your heart. The thing that the fish needs to survive is love. And in the same way that if a fish is in water, there will be water inside and out of that fish. It'll be immersed in water. In that same way, your heart needs to be immersed in love inside and out. And if the fish is anywhere else, the issue isn't that the fish is somewhere else. The issue is that the fish just isn't in water. And it needs water to live. And the heart needs love to survive and to live. And so when that stinging pain arises and you feel your heart speaking back to you, you realize that nothing really matters except being aligned in your mind, body, and soul. And your soul is kind of like the unity between the mind and the body. The body is like a child that wants to play, and the mind is like a logical parent that wants to prepare for a good future. But if the mind is constantly putting these worldly pressures on the heart and demanding things from the heart, then it's like the heart, the body becomes like a rebellious child who isn't ever allowed to play. And we used to have, when I was in elementary school, we used to have recess. And if you got in trouble at recess, you'd have to go stand on the line and you'd have to watch other kids on the playground playing. And you just had to stand there on the line and watch them, and you were in trouble. And as we get older, I feel like maybe we kind of become like the entity that puts ourselves on the line, puts ourselves in punishment. And there's parts of us that just wants to get out there and play. And we feel like we're being punished, or we ought to be punished constantly. But there is no punishment. You're allowed to just go out there and play. And if the mind doesn't let the body, doesn't let the heart play, it's like a bad boss and a bad employee. The mind is a bad employer and the heart becomes a bad employee. And you just become at war with yourself. And so nothing really matters except listening to your heart. Because if your heart stops beating, all of this is over anyway. Listen to your heart.